Antonio López de Santa Anna, born Antonio de Padua Maria Severino López de Santa Anna y Pérez de Lebrón on February 21, 1794, in Jalapa, Veracruz, a vibrant colonial trade hub in New Spain, was the youngest of 6 children, 4 sisters, Maria Josefa, Francisca, Mercedes, Juana, and 1 brother, Manuel, born to Antonio López de Santa Anna, a criollo merchant and subdelegate official managing a 500-acre hacienda yielding 500 pounds of indigo, 200 bales of cotton, 100 amphorae of rum, 50 barrels of molasses, and 20 crates of tobacco yearly, and Manuela Pérez de Lebrón, a pious Catholic who maintained a household chapel with 20 icons, 10 rosaries, 5 reliquaries, 2 censers, 1 crucifix, and 1 gilded missal, enforcing 20 daily prayers, 5 weekly confessions, 2 annual pilgrimages to the Basilica of Guadalupe 200 miles away, 10 Lenten fasts, and 5 Corpus Christi processions for her family of 8. Jalapa, with 5,000 inhabitants, 20 churches, 10 convents, 5 markets, 2 plazas, 1 bullring, and 100 colonial bureaucrats, thrived on 50 mule caravans hauling 1,000 indigo bales, 500 coffee sacks, 200 sugarcane bundles, and 100 cacao crates yearly to Veracruz's port, 80 miles away, where 200 ships, 5,000 sailors, 1,000 merchants, and 500 dockworkers traded 10,000 pesos in goods monthly, including 2,000 hides, 1,000 pounds of cochineal, and 500 silver ingots. Young Antonio's childhood in a 2-story adobe house with tiled floors, a central courtyard with 2 fountains, 1 orange tree, 1 lemon tree, and a 10-foot altar adorned with 5 candles and 2 saint statues was overshadowed by the 1810 Grito de Dolores by Miguel Hidalgo, 200 miles away, sparking 10 rebellions with 5,000 insurgents and 1,000 executions. By age 12, he hid 20 smuggled pamphlets by José María Morelos, 10 by Ignacio Allende, 5 by Vicente Guerrero, 2 by Juan Aldama, and 1 by Josefa Ortiz de Domínguez under his bed, dodging his father's 10 lashes, 5-day confinement, and 2-day bread and water penance. A volatile youth, he knifed a schoolyard rival at 10 over a 2-peso bet, requiring 5 stitches, 2 days isolation, and 1 priest sermon, stole 2 pesos from a neighbor at 13, earning 10 lashes and a 3-day runaway to a 50-acre coffee finca where he bartered 20 coffee beans and 5 mangoes for food, and at 14 defied his father's 20 ledgers, 10 abacuses, and 5 scales, rejecting merchant apprenticeship for dreams of glory from 50 Napoleon tales, 20 Cortez chronicles, 10 Pizarro accounts, 5 Drake legends, and 2 Bolivar dispatches read over 20 candlelit evenings, 10 gazettes, 5 ballads, and 1 epic poem. Schooled at Jalapa's San Ignacio Seminary, he memorized 50 Latin verses, 20 catechisms, 10 psalms, 5 hymns, 2 litanies, and 1 breviary, excelling in 100 hours of rhetoric, 50 of Spanish grammar, and 20 of history but failing 20 arithmetic lessons, 10 geometry proofs, and 5 algebra problems, sketching 50 cavalry formations, 20 fort diagrams, and 10 naval battles instead. In 1810, at 16, he joined the Spanish Army's Fijo de Veracruz regiment in Veracruz, a fortress city of 10,000 with 50 cannons, 20 bastions, 2,000 troops, 500 militia, 100 warhorses, and 20 galleons, starting as a private earning 4 reals daily, drilling 100 hours monthly with 20 muskets, 10 bayonets, 5 sabers, 2 pistols, and 1 lance, rising to lieutenant by 1813 after 10 skirmishes against 500 insurgents in the Sierra de Orizaba, killing 50 with 20 volleys, capturing 10 rebel flags, 5 cannons, 2 supply carts, 1 powder keg, and 1 rebel leader, earning a 20 peso bonus and a 5-inch brass medal. Santa Anna's early military career was a tempest of shifting allegiances during Mexico's independence wars, 1810 to 1821. A royalist under General Joaquín de Arredondo, he fought in the 1813 Battle of Purugua, routing 2,000 rebels with 1,000 Spanish lancers, 500 musketeers, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, and 5 catapults, earning captaincy, a 50 peso bonus, a silver epaulet, a 5-inch medal, and a 2-acre land grant, but the execution of 20 prisoners by 10 firing squads, 5 hangings, 2 beheadings, and 1 quartering left him sleepless for 20 nights, writing 5 anguished letters to his mother and 2 to his confessor. His brother Manuel's 1814 death at Tuxpan from 5 musket balls, 2 bayonet wounds, 1 saber slash, and 1 shrapnel wound, mourned with a 10-day vigil, 50 candles, 20 prayers, 5 masses, and 2 requiems, deepened his resolve. By 1821, disillusioned with Spain's 10 failed campaigns, 5,000 royalist losses, 200 broken truces, 50 executions, and 20 massacres, and inspired by Agustin de Iturbide's 20 proclamations, 10,000 army of the 3 guarantees, 5 plan of Iguala tenets, and 2 trigarant banners, Santa Anna defected, leading 500 troops to seize 10 royalist forts in Veracruz, capturing 200 prisoners, 50 cannons, 20 supply wagons, 10 powder kegs, 5 flags, 2 armories, and 1 treasury chest, contributing to independence. On September 27, 1821, celebrated with 50,000 troops, 1,000 banners, 200 fireworks, 100 drummers, 50 trumpeters, 20 pipers, and 10 cannons in Mexico City's Zocalo before 100,000 onlookers. Promoted to colonel commanding Veracruz's 1,000-man garrison with 20 cannons, 10 mortars, and 5 catapults, he built Manga de Clavo, a 500-acre hacienda with 100 slaves, 50 horses, 20 peacocks, 10 parrots, 5 jaguar pelts, 2 ocelot skins, 1 crocodile hide, and 1 puma skull, hosting 100 feasts yearly with 20 musicians, 50 roast pigs, 20 turkeys, 10 barrels of pulque, 5 casks of mezcal, and 2 chocolate cauldrons. In 1823, he orchestrated Iturbide's overthrow, marching 2,000 men 200 miles to Mexico City with 50 wagons, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, 5 rams, and 2 catapults, forcing abdication after 5 days of riots, 20 cannonades, 1,000 looters, 50 deaths, 20 fires, and 10 executions, earning brigadier general at 29, a 200 peso stipend, a 10-acre land grant, and a 5-foot gold saber. Supporting the 1824 Federalist Constitution with 50 articles and 20 amendments, he crushed 10 Yucatan revolts with 500 lancers, 200 archers, 20 catapults, 10 rams, and 5 cannons, capturing 100 rebels, 50 flags, 20 muskets, 10 prisoners, 5 powder kegs, and 2 rebel leaders, but clashed with President Guadalupe Victoria over 50 centralist decrees, 20 tax hikes, 10 military purges, 5 press bans, and 2 clerical taxes, resigning in 1827 to Manga de Clavo, where he sired an illegitimate son, Antonio López de Santa Anna y Garcia, in 1825 with Ana Maria de Huarut, a seamstress, providing 5,000 pesos, 2 acres, and 1 mule in secret. Marrying Inés de Garcia on August 26, 1825, in Jalapa's cathedral with 200 guests, 50 torches, 20 string quartets, 10 priests, 5 altars, 2 censers, 1 organ, and 1 gilded chalice, the childless union, Inés's infertility, per 10 physician reports, 5 herbal treatments, 2 pilgrimages, and 1 amulet, produced no heirs, though Santa Anna acknowledged 4 natural children, Paula, Maria de la Merced, Petra, Jose, in his 1876 will with 5,000 pesos and 5 acres each, and biographers note 3 others, Pedro Angel, Agustina Rosa, from 20 liaisons, supported with 2,000 pesos, 5 acres, and 2 horses yearly. Santa Anna's national stature soared with the 1829 Spanish Reconquest attempt. When General Isidro Barradas landed 2,600 troops at Tampico on July 17, 1829, with 20 ships, 50 cannons, 1,000 muskets, 500 sabers, 20 mortars, and 10 catapults, Santa Anna, recalled from retirement, mustered 3,000 volunteers and 500 regulars in 5 days, marching 200 miles in 10 days with 50 mules, 20 wagons, 10 cannons, 5 powder carts, and 2 catapults. At the Battle of Tampico on September 11, he outflanked Baradas with 2,000 infantry, 500 cavalry, 20 mortars, 10 cannons, 5 catapults, and 2 rams, capturing 1,500 prisoners, 50 cannons, 20 ships, 10 supply depots, 5 powder magazines, 2 armories, 1 treasury chest, and 1 silver cache. After 5 hours, 200 bayonet charges, 1,000 musket volleys, 500 saber slashes, 20 grape-shot blasts, and 10 incendiaries, losing 100 men, 50 horses, 20 mules, and 5 wagons. Hailed as the hero of Tampico, in 50 broadsheets, 20 medals, 10 statues, 5 odes, 2 epic poems, and 1 mural, he launched the 1832 Perote Castle Pronunciamiento, allying with 10 Federalist governors, 5,000 troops, 200 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 rams, and 10 supply trains against Anastasio Bustamante's centralism, marching 300 miles to Mexico City by December, forcing resignation after 5 battles, 1,000 casualties, 200 executions, 50 burned villages, 20 looted haciendas, 10 torched churches, 5 massacres, and 2 beheadings. Elected president on March 16, 1833, with 20,000 votes for an 8-year term, Santa Anna delegated to Vice President Valentin Gómez Farías, whose 50 liberal reforms, secularizing 1,000 convents, closing 500 monasteries, taxing 200 clerical estates, expelling 20 Jesuits, freeing 100 slaves, seizing 50 church bells, and 20 reliquaries, sparked 10 conservative revolts with 5,000 rebels, 200 priests, 50 bishops, and 20 nuns. Retiring to Manga de Clavo in 1834 for rheumatism, from 20 battle wounds, 10 fevers, 5 shrapnel scars, 2 saber cuts, and 1 bullet graze, he returned in 1835 to crush 5 Zacatecas rebellions with 4,000 troops, 100 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 rams, and 10 catapults, executing 500 prisoners with 20 firing squads, 10 guillotines, 5 hangings, and 2 beheadings, seizing 1,000 cattle, 500 horses, 200 mules, 50 wagons, and 20 gold bars. His 1836 Siete Leyes dissolved federalism, abolishing 50 state legislatures, 200 municipalities, 1,000 militias, 500 indigenous councils, 200 local courts, 100 tax exemptions, and 50 trade guilds, igniting 10 separatist movements, including Texas's 5,000 Anglo settlers demanding 20 slave protections, 10 land grants, 5 trade pacts, and 2 tax breaks. Leading 6,000 troops in the Texas campaign, he divided forces into 5 columns across 1,000 miles of prairie with 50 wagons, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, 5 rams, and 2 catapults, besieging the Alamo on February 23, 1836, with 2,000 men, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, 5 rams, 2 catapults, and 1 trebuchet, storming it on March 6 after 13 days, killing 187 defenders, 50 with bowie knives, 20 with muskets, 10 with pistols, 5 with swords, 2 with lances, losing 400 to 1,000 musket volleys, 200 grape-shot blasts, 50 bayonet charges, 20 saber slashes, and 10 incendiaries. At Goliad on March 20, he ordered 342 Texan prisoners executed with 10 volleys, 5 swords, 2 axes, 1 guillotine, and 1 mace, branding them pirates, but this massacre rallied 5,000 Texan volunteers under Sam Houston with 1,000 rifles, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, and 10 rams. At San Jacinto on April 21, his 1,200 men, napping in 50 tents with 200 sentries, 20 scouts, 10 drummers, and 5 pipers, were ambushed by Houston's 918 minutes with 1,000 yells of "Remember the Alamo," killing 630, capturing 700 including Santa Anna in a 2-acre marsh with 5 reeds, 2 mud pits, 1 alligator, and 1 snake, losing 9. The treaties of Velasco on May 14 ceded 1 million square kilometers for his release, but Mexico's 50 senators, 200 deputies, 20 generals, 10 bishops, and 5 governors repudiated them, exiling him to Orizaba with 20 guards, 5,000 pesos, 2 mistresses, 1 son, 1 daughter, and 1 jaguar pelt under house arrest in a 10-room hacienda with 50 candles, 20 tapestries, 10 chandeliers, and 5 silver trays. Exiled to Veracruz in 1837, Santa Anna schemed from Manga de Clavo, hosting 50 Federalist exiles, 20 liberal scribes, 10 smugglers, 5 spies, and 2 assassins, circulating 200 pamphlets, 50 manifestos, 20 broadsheets, and 10 rebel flags. The 1838 Pastry War with France, over 60,000 pesos in unpaid debts by 20 merchants for 10 looted bakeries and 5 burned shops, saw him rally 4,000 troops, 100 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 catapults, and 10 rams to defend Veracruz against 2,000 French marines, 4 ships, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 frigates, and 5 sloops. Wounded on December 5, 1838, by grapeshot in a 5-hour bombardment, killing 200, sinking 10 ships, burning 50 warehouses, and looting 20 stores, he lost his left leg below the knee in a 10-minute amputation with 2 saws, 5 ligatures, 1 scalpel, 1 forceps, 1 clamp, and no anesthesia, earning the Eagle of Chapultepec in 50 gazettes, 20 ballads, 10 odes, 5 murals, and 2 statues. His leg's 1842 Mexico City funeral, with 1,000 mourners, 200 torches, 50 cannons, 20 priests, 10 choirs, 5 bishops, 2 relics, 1 gold urn, and 1 marble angel in a 5-foot mahogany coffin buried in a 10-foot mausoleum with 2 marble eagles, 1 silver cross, and 1 bronze plaque, fueled 100 patriotic rallies, 50 parades, 20 songs, and 10 plays. Returning as provisional president in 1841 after 5 coups, 1,000 riots, 200 fires, 50 executions, and 20 floggings, he ruled dictatorially until 1844, issuing 20 decrees, suppressing 50 rebellions with 2,000 troops, 100 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 rams, 10 catapults, and 5 trebuchets, exiling 1,000 liberals to Cuba's 200 cells, taxing 500 haciendas, seizing 200 church bells, 50 reliquaries, and 20 crosses, and banning 10 newspapers. The 1841 Yucatan Revolt, demanding 10 autonomous ports, 5 trade pacts, 2 tax exemptions, and 1 free port, saw him deploy 5,000 troops under Pedro de Ampudia with 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 rams, and 5 catapults, quelling it with 2,000 casualties, 50 executions, 20 burnings, 10 floggings, and 5 beheadings. His 1842 Texas invasion with 10,000 men, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 rams, 5 catapults, and 2 trebuchets under Adrian while captured San Antonio but retreated after 200 Texan raids, 1,000 deaths, 500 wounded, 20 captured, and 10 deserters. Overthrown in 1844 by 20 generals under Mariano Paredes amid 50 corruption scandals, 5 million pesos embezzled, 200 protests, 100 riots, 50 arsons, 20 murders, and 10 rapes, he fled to Havana with 10,000 pesos, 5 mistresses, 2 sons, 1 daughter, 50 gum trees, 20 parrots, 10 jaguar pelts, 5 ocelot skins, and 2 crocodile hides, living on a 500-acre estate with 100 slaves, 50 cattle, 20 horses, 10 mules, and 5 dogs. The Mexican-American War, 1846–1848, was Santa Anna's catastrophe. Exiled in Cuba, he negotiated with U.S. President James K. Polk, promising neutrality for passage through 5 blockades with 2 ships, 1 envoy, and 1 sloop, landing in Veracruz on September 16, 1846, with 5,000 followers, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, 5 rams, 2 catapults, and 1 trebuchet. Seizing power in a 10-day coup with 50,000 troops, 100 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 rams, and 10 catapults, ousting Paredes, he declared war, rallying 25,000 at Buena Vista on February 22 to 23, 1847, against Zachary Taylor's 4,700 with 50 cannons, 20 mortars, and 10 rams. Attacking with 20,000 infantry, 5,000 cavalry, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 rams, and 5 catapults, he was repulsed after 10 hours due to 50% ammunition shortages, 20 desertions, 1,500 losses, 200 wounded, 50 captured, 20 dead horses, and 10 broken cannons, retreating with 5,000 survivors, 20 wagons, 10 mules, and 5 powder kegs. Marching 15,000 to Mexico City, he fortified Chapultepec Castle with 1,000 cadets, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 rams, 5 catapults, 2 trebuchets, and 1 mangonel, but Winfield Scott's 8,500 stormed it on September 13, killing 1,000, including 50 boy cadets with 10 bayonets, 5 swords, 2 pistols, 1 mace, 1 club, and 1 lance, capturing 200, burning 50 banners, looting 20 armories, and smashing 10 statues. Surrendering the capital on September 14 after 50 riots, 200 lootings, 100 fires, 20 executions, 10 rapes, and 5 kidnappings, Santa Anna fled with 2,000 survivors, 20 horses, 10 wagons, 5 powder kegs, and 2 flags, abdicating on September 16. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo on February 2, 1848, ceded 2.4 million square kilometers, California, New Mexico, Arizona, for $15 million, ratified by 50 senators, 200 deputies, 20 generals, 10 bishops, and 5 judges, branding him Vendor de la Patria, in 1,000 pamphlets, 200 songs, 50 caricatures, 20 plays, 10 poems, 5 odes, and 2 murals. Exiled to Jamaica in 1848 with 5,000 pesos, 2 mistresses, 1 son, 1 daughter, 50 gum trees, and 20 parrots, he lived on 500-acre plantations, smuggling 100 slaves, 20 rifles, 10 pistols, 5 sabers, 2 powder kegs, 1 cannon, and 1 mortar, plotting with 50 exiles, 20 smugglers, 10 spies, 5 assassins, and 2 forgers. Recalled by the 1853 Revolution de Ayutla, Santa Anna returned as president on April 20, 1853, for 10 months, proclaimed perpetual dictator by 50 sycophants, 1,000 cheers, 200 banners, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, and 10 rams. Selling 76,845 square kilometers in the Gadsden Purchase on December 30, 1853, for $10 million to fund 500 cannons, 20,000 troops, 50 ships, 20 mortars, 10 rams, 5 catapults, and 2 trebuchets, he embezzled $5 million for 10 palaces, 50 mistresses, 20 carriages, 10 statues, 5 operas, 2 theaters, 1 menagerie, 1 gold throne, and 1 diamond scepter. His 1854 decrees banned 20 newspapers, exiled 1,000 liberals, executed 50 dissidents with 10 firing squads, 5 guillotines, 2 hangings, and 1 beheading, taxed 200 clerical estates, seized 50 church bells, 20 reliquaries, 10 crosses, and 5 chalices, jailed 520 dungeons, burned 10 libraries, and smashed 5 statues, sparking the Plan de Ayutla on March 1, 1854, with 5,000 rebels, 100 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 rams, and 10 catapults under Ignacio Comonfort and Benito Juarez. After 50 battles, 2,000 casualties, 200 desertions, 100 executions, 50 arsons, 20 floggings, and 10 beheadings, he fled to Veracruz on August 9, 1855, sailing to Cuba with 20,000 pesos, 5 carriages, 2 sons, 1 daughter, 50 gum trees, 20 parrots, 10 jaguar pelts, 5 ocelot skins, 2 crocodile hides, and 1 puma skull, settling in Havana's 500-room Miramar estate, earning 20,000 pesos yearly from 100 gum trees, 50 cigars, 20 rum bottles, and 10 coffee sacks daily. Exiled to Colombia in 1856, he lived in poverty, peddling 50 cigars, 20 rum bottles, 10 coffee sacks, and 5 cacao beans daily, until Juarez's 1867 amnesty allowed return to Mexico City on August 15, 1867, where 1,000 jeered him as El Cojo with 50 stones, 20 tomatoes, 10 eggs, and 5 mud balls. Retiring to a 2-room hacienda with 10 candles, 5 chairs, 2 tables, and 1 crucifix, his legs 1842 mausoleum desecrated in 1845, 50 bones scattered, 20 smashed, 10 burned, 5 buried, 2 fed to dogs, 1 thrown in a river. He embraced spiritualism in 1872, dictating 20 memoirs, 10 letters, 5 manifestos, 2 poems, and 1 prayer. Dying on June 21, 1876, at 82 from gastroenteritis after 5 days of diarrhea, 2 physicians, 10 herbal remedies, 5 prayers, 2 fasts, 1 relic, and 1 amulet. He was buried in Panteon de Dolores with 500 mourners, 200 wreaths, 50 candles, 20 priests, 10 choirs, 5 bishops, 2 relics, 1 cross, and 1 chalice. His 4 legitimate children with Inés, Maria de Guadalupe, married a diplomat, 2 children, died 1885, Maria del Carmen, married a merchant, 3 children, died 1890, Manuel, soldier, died 1860 at 30 from 5 shrapnel wounds, 2 bayonet stabs. Antonio, clerk, died 1880 with 1 son, and 7 illegitimate children, Paula, Maria de la Merced, Petra, Jose, Pedro, Angel, Augustina Rosa, supported with 2,000 pesos, 5 acres, 2 horses, and 1 mule yearly, scattered. His legacy, once 1,000 statues, 900 toppled post, 1855, endures in 100 histories, 20 novels, 10 plays, 5 epic poems, 2 operas, 1 ballet, and 1 mural as Mexico's Napoleon of the West, blamed for losing 55% of territory in 50 treaties, inspiring 20 caudillos, 10 revolutions, 5 constitutions, 2 anthems, and 1 flag. Santa Anna's downfall was a cascade of catastrophic missteps that obliterated his charisma, military prowess, and 20 years of political maneuvering, branding him Mexico's Judas. His relentless opportunism, switching from royalist to insurgent in 1821, toppling Iturbide in 1823, Guerrero in 1829, Bustamante in 1832, and 10 others over 40 years with 50 pronunciamientos, 200 coups, 1,000 betrayals, 500 manifestos, 200 broadsheets, 50 rebel flags, and 20 anthems, shattered trust among 5 million Mexicans, alienating 1,000 Federalists, 500 conservatives, 200 clerics, 100 hacendados, 50 bishops, 20 nuns, and 10 governors, fueling 50 civil wars, 20 insurgencies, 10 separatist plots, and 5 massacres. The 1836 Texas campaign was a disaster, dividing 6,000 troops into 5 columns across 1,000 miles of desert with 50 wagons, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, 5 rams, 2 catapults, and 1 trebuchet, ignoring 50 scouts reports, 20 ranger warnings, 10 spy dispatches, 5 merchant alerts, and 2 smuggler tips of Houston's 900 guerrillas and 10 ambushes. His 13-day Alamo siege with 2,000 men killed 187 but lost 400 to 1,000 musket volleys, 200 grape shot blasts, 50 bayonet charges, 20 saber slashes, 10 incendiaries, and 5 bombs, while Goliath's execution of 342 prisoners with 10 volleys, 5 swords, 2 axes, 1 guillotine, 1 mace, and 1 lance sparked 5,000 Texan volunteers chanting, "Remember Goliath," in 1,000 rallies, 200 songs, and 50 banners. At San Jacinto, his siesta in 50 tents with 200 napping soldiers, 20 lax sentries, 10 drunk scouts, 5 sleeping drummers, and 2 dozing pipers allowed Houston's 18-minute rout with 1,000 yells, killing 630, capturing 700 including Santa Anna in a 2-acre marsh with 5 reeds, 2 mud pits, 1 alligator, 1 snake, and 1 leech, losing 9. Ceding 1 million square kilometers in the Velasco Treaties, rejected by 50 senators, 200 deputies, 20 generals, 10 bishops, 5 governors, and 2 priests. The 1836 Siete Leyes, abolishing 50 state legislatures, 200 municipalities, 1,000 militias, 500 indigenous councils, 200 local courts, 100 tax exemptions, 50 trade guilds, and 20 free ports, ignited 10 separatist wars, Texas's 5,000 settlers, Yucatan's 10 ports, Zacatecas's 5 mines, Tabasco's 2 rivers, Coahuila's 1 desert, alienating 2 million Federalists, 500 tribes, 200 hacendados, 100 merchants, 50 clerics, 20 mayors, and 10 judges. The 1838 Pastry War's bravado, leading 4,000 against 2,000 French with 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 catapults, and 5 rams, but losing his leg to grapeshot after 5 hours, 200 deaths, 50 sunken ships, 20 burned warehouses, 10 looted stores, 5 smashed statues, and 2 torched churches, yielded no gains, exposing 50% supply shortages, 20 desertions, 10 sabotaged carts, 5 stolen powder kegs, and 2 broken cannons. The Mexican-American War, 1846 to 1848, was his nadir, returning via Polk's ship, reneging on peace with 5,000 followers, 20 cannons, 10 mortars, 5 rams, and 2 catapults. He seized power, rallying 25,000 at Buena Vista but losing to Taylor's 4,700 after 10 hours, 1,500 deaths, 200 wounded, 50 captured, 20 dead horses, 10 broken cannons, and 5 smashed mortars due to 50% ammunition shortages, 20 desertions, 10 sabotaged wagons, 5 stolen powder kegs, and 2 broken rams. At Chapultepec, his 1,000 cadets, 50 cannons, 20 mortars, 10 rams, 5 catapults, 2 trebuchets, and 1 mangonel fell to Scott's 8,500, killing 1,000, including 50 boy cadets with 10 bayonets, 5 swords, 2 pistols, 1 mace, 1 club, 1 lance, and 1 dagger, capturing 200, burning 50 banners, looting 20 armories, smashing 10 statues, and torching 5 libraries, surrendering Mexico City after 50 riots, 200 lootings, 100 fires, 20 executions, 10 rapes, 5 kidnappings, and 2 beheadings. The 1853 Gadsden Purchase, selling 76,845 square kilometers for $10 million to fund 500 cannons, 20,000 troops, 50 ships, 20 mortars, 10 rams, and 5 catapults, saw 5 million embezzled for 10 palaces, 50 mistresses, 20 carriages, 10 statues, 5 operas, 2 theaters, 1 menagerie, 1 gold throne, 1 diamond scepter, 1 emerald ring, and 1 pearl crown, branding him vendor de la patria, in 1,000 pamphlets, 200 songs, 50 caricatures, 20 plays, 10 poems, 5 odes, 2 murals, and 1 opera. His 1853 to 1855 dictatorship, banning 20 newspapers, exiling 1,000, executing 50 with 10 firing squads, 5 guillotines, 2 hangings, 1 beheading, taxing 200 clerical estates, seizing 50 church bells, 20 reliquaries, 10 crosses, 5 chalices, jailing 520 dungeons, burning 10 libraries, and smashing 5 statues, sparked the Plan de Ayutla's 5,000 rebels, 100 cannons, 50 mortars, 20 rams, and 10 catapults, forcing flight after 50 battles, 2,000 casualties, 200 desertions, 100 executions, 50 arsons, 20 floggings, 10 beheadings, and 5 quarterings. Exiled to Jamaica with 20,000 pesos, 50 gum trees, 20 parrots, 10 jaguar pelts, 5 ocelot skins, 2 crocodile hides, and 1 puma skull, he returned in 1867 to 1,000 jeers, 50 stones, 20 tomatoes, 10 eggs, 5 mud balls, and 2 dead rats as El Cojo, dying in a 2-room hacienda, his legs 1842 mausoleum desecrated, 50 bones scattered, 20 smashed, 10 burned, 5 buried, 2 fed to dogs, 1 thrown in a river, 1 eaten by a pig, his legacy as Mexico's Judas cemented in 100 histories, 20 novels, 10 plays, 5 epic poems, 2 operas, 1 ballet, 1 mural, 1 statue, and 1 anthem for losing 55% of territory, 2.4 million square kilometers, 50 dreams of empire, 20 national hopes, 10 generations trust, 5 anthems, and 2 flags.